Have you ever laid awake at night, thoughts racing, replaying conversations, or worrying about things you cannot control? It's like trying to sleep in a storm, with lightning flashing and thunder rumbling inside your head. You want peace, but the noise won't stop. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Overthinking is a modern plague. We plan too much, analyze too deeply, and worry endlessly. But what if I told you there's a way out? Not by escaping life, but by entering it more fully, more mindfully. For over 40 years as a monk, I've walked the path of stillness. I've guided countless seekers, from busy professionals to grieving parents, from anxious students to lost wanderers. And I've seen the same transformation again and again. When we apply the timeless teachings of the Buddha, not just read them, but live them, we begin to heal. This isn't just a message to inform you. This is a message to awaken you. So come with me, step by step, as we journey into a path of profound teachings. Not ancient relics, but living wisdom, woven with real stories, examples, and a depth that speaks to your life right now. These teachings are not just about quieting the mind. They are about reclaiming your life. Many years ago, a young novice came to my monastery, worried and restless. His eyes darted around during meditation, and when I asked him what troubled him, he said, "Master, I am afraid I've wasted my past, and I worry I'll fail my future." I handed him a bowl of warm tea. "Feel the heat," I said. "Taste it while it's still hot. If you wait, it will cool. If you regret yesterday or fear tomorrow, you'll miss this cup of peace. You cannot breathe yesterday's air. You cannot drink tomorrow's water. Life only happens now. In our daily life, we can practice presence by doing one thing at a time. When we walk, just walk. When we eat, just eat. When we listen, just listen." One elderly nun in our community would often smile while washing dishes. I asked her why she was always joyful. She said, "Because this dish, this water, this moment is enough." In the ancient sutras, the Buddha encountered a farmer who came to him frustrated. His crops were failing, his family argued, and his body was aching. The Buddha listened and said, "I cannot help you with your problems. You will always have 83 problems, but I can help you with the 84th. "What is the 84th? The farmer asked. "That you don't want to have any problems." This teaching reminds us, life happens here. Wishing it were different only creates more suffering. Peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of mindfulness. Control is a seductive illusion. We believe that if we think enough, plan enough, prepare enough, we can avoid pain. But life is not something to control. It's something to move with. There was once a monk who stood every day at the edge of a river. His student asked him why he watched the water so often. The old monk replied, "Because it reminds me how to live. It does not resist the rock, it moves around it. It does not fear the drop, it flows down and becomes more." When we overthink, what we are really doing is trying to control the uncontrollable. We want certainty where there is only change. There is a story from my early monastic years. I was leading a group of lay people on a mindfulness walk in the mountains. Clouds began to form, and many in the group worried about rain. One woman became agitated. "We should turn back. We didn't bring umbrellas. What if we get sick?" I simply said, "Let the rain fall. It does not fall to punish, it falls to nourish." When the rain came, it was gentle, and after it passed, the air was fresh, the forest glistening. We had walked through our fear and discovered beauty. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply, but without attachment to outcome. You walk step by step in trust. Try this. When anxiety arises, pause. Ask yourself, am I trying to control something I cannot? If the answer is yes, let it go. Visualize the river. Let the thought flow past. Peace arises not from domination, but from surrender. One of my dear friends, a monk who lived in solitude for over 30 years, once told me, "Each time I gave something away, I found more space for joy." Simplicity is not poverty. It is clarity. In a world driven by consumption, complexity, and competition, we are taught that more is better. But the Buddha taught that liberation begins with letting go, not just of possessions, but of mental clutter. There's a Zen story about a professor who visited a master to learn about meditation. The master served him tea and kept pouring, even when the cup overflowed. The professor cried out, "Stop! It is full." "Exactly," said the master. "You are full of ideas, expectations, and opinions. How can I show you truth unless you first empty your cup?" In modern life, we fill our calendars, our closets, and our minds. We say yes to everything and wonder why we feel so overwhelmed. Start small. Unsubscribe from one unnecessary email list. Give away one item. Say no to one unimportant task. In that single act, you begin to reclaim your peace. True simplicity is elegant. It frees us from the tyranny of needing, having, proving. Remember, the sky is beautiful because it is vast and open, not because it is full. A student once said to me, "Master, my thoughts are like a thunderstorm. I can't stop them. They just keep coming." I smiled gently and said, "Do you try to stop the wind? Or do you let it pass through the trees?" Your mind produces thoughts just as your lungs produce breath. But just because a thought arises doesn't mean it's true or permanent or part of who you are. Thoughts are clouds drifting across the vast sky of awareness. Some are heavy and dark, some are light and fleeting, but none define the sky. During one retreat, a woman approached me in tears. She was haunted by self-doubt and anxiety. "I think terrible things," she whispered. "So I must be a terrible person." We sat in silence for a moment. Then I picked up a smooth pebble from the garden path and dropped it into a still pond. "Did the stone become the water?" I asked. "No," she said, confused. "And your thoughts do not become you. Let them sink. Let them pass. But don't hold them." This small shift, learning to observe instead of identifying with thoughts, can change everything. The next time a thought arises, try this. Name it. Worry is here. Acknowledge it. Thank you for trying to protect me. Release it. But I don't need you right now. You'll find that most thoughts, when not fed, fade on their own. We are not the noise. We are the stillness that hears it. A man once asked me after a Dharma talk, "How do I stop overthinking in the middle of chaos?" I handed him a candle. "Light this," I said, "and sit with it for 10 minutes. He returned the next day. It was so simple. The flame didn't flicker, and neither did my thoughts. Mindfulness is the art of being here, fully, gently, compassionately. It begins with the breath. The breath is always now. It cannot be yesterday's breath or tomorrow's. It is the most faithful companion you have. Try this practice. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Repeat. This is not about forcing the mind to stop thinking. It's about allowing the breath to bring you back home. At our monastery, we begin each morning with a bell. One deep sound, then silence. During that silence, we breathe as a community, not to escape life, but to truly meet it. The mind will wander. That's its nature. But mindfulness is not about perfection. It's about return. Every time you come back to your breath, you are practicing freedom. Let your breath be your refuge. Let it bring you back. Nothing stays. And therein lies both our sorrow and our salvation. The cherry blossom falls. The snow melts. The night gives way to dawn. The Buddha's final words were, "All conditioned things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence." We forget this truth when we are stuck in pain. We say, "I'll always feel this way. This will never get better." But no storm has ever lasted forever. I remember one winter when a layman visited the monastery in grief. His wife had died suddenly and he felt shattered. "I can't move on," he said. "She was everything." We walked in the cold forest. Snowflakes fell silently around us. "See this snow?" I asked. "It covers everything now, but by spring, it will be gone. Grief is like that. It must be honored, but it will soften." He returned that spring. The same trees now bloomed. "I miss her," he said, "but I can breathe again. Nothing is permanent. Not joy, not sorrow, not fear. So when you feel overwhelmed, repeat this. This too shall pass. And it will. Each of these teachings is a doorway, a gentle nudge back to the present, back to your breath, back to your true self. You do not need to master all of them at once. Pick one. Practice. Live it. Peace is not found. Peace is remembered. It's not something distant. It's always here, beneath the noise. And now that you know the path, you can walk it, step by step. May your mind be soft. May your heart be light. May your breath guide you home.